Team One, how are you? I'm Natalie Tuman, for those of you that I have not gotten to meet yet, and I'm going to be doing our team call for this week. So right now we're focusing on a series called Back to the Basics, and I'm going to take you back to the basics and kind of when my business turned around. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on me and my story in case you don't know it. I was a pharmaceutical rep for 6 years. Thought that was going to be my career, that's what I was going to do, but I actually decided to take a voluntary layoff at the end, I guess it was the beginning of 2011, end of 2010. And that's when I met Heather at a gym, at one of the gyms here in town. I took her turbo class and met her, and she invited me to come to an insanity home party. So I went, and she talked to me about the business side of it, which I never even had heard of, and I was really skeptical. So I went home and I researched the fire out of it to see what I could find that was negative and why I shouldn't do it, and I really couldn't find anything. So I thought about it, talked with my husband, and decided to sign up because I figured that at the very least that I would lose out on $40, which was not the end of the world. So I decided to go for it. So I was super slow starter. It took me a really long time to grasp the business. I was frustrated. I couldn't figure out why. I'd been very successful in my sales career, so I couldn't figure out why I was having such an issue in this sales deal. Little did I know that it wasn't about sales, it was about connecting with people. So, in fact, I didn't even know Success Club existed until I'd been in the business for a year and a half, if that tells you how slow I was to grow. So after I took my layoff, about 6 months later, a part-time opportunity came for me to work for a hospital organization. It was kind of a no-brainer. It was really good money. It was part-time. I could do my training and my teaching on the side and still work my Beachbody business. So I dove into that, and I was completely wrong because I was miserable. In fact, I would call my mom crying as I'd sit outside the hospital. It just was not where my heart was. I knew that I wanted to be doing this full time. So come January of 2012, I made the commitment that I was going to start paying our family's mortgage with my Beachbody income. And I kept that up. And so at Summit in 2012, I was no longer at the hospital organization, and I was focusing solely on Beachbody as well as the rest of my fitness career that I was trying to pursue. So that's kind of a little bit of my background. So I don't want you to think that I was successful overnight, because I was probably the furthest thing from it. It's been a very frustrating road, but it's also been incredibly rewarding, and I love what I get to do, and I've kind of learned from mistakes, so I kind of know how to help lead. So talking about getting back to basics, and I talked about Success Club, and that's really when my business turned around, when I started focusing on Success Club. So I want to talk to you about that. Going back, I'm going to give you about 5 points that I want you to focus on. So we're going to start with the first point, which that's basically to make a goal. Each month, what are you going to do? Are you going to hit Success Club 5? Or are you going to hit Success Club 10? It's your choice. You get to make your goals. It's your business, so you do what you want. But I will say that those who hit Success Club 5 obviously have a higher residual income than those who hit Success Club 5. So if income is not really your goal, if you're just doing this, solely to, get vacation money or something like that, maybe pay a bill here or there, then I wouldn't worry about it. But if you really have a lofty goal with your income, then I would suggest that your goal needs to be to hit Success Club 10 every single month. That's just me. But it will end up creating that residual income, which is obviously what you want to do as time goes on. The second thing that I will say is to schedule your challenges. So each month you should have a challenge going every single month. It should be a no matter what, a non-negotiable. It's right, like you hit Success Club and you run challenges, period, end of story. That's the bread and butter of this business. It's how you can connect and build relationships. So make sure you schedule them out. For instance, I get my big calendar out and I schedule it. So I know that July 14th was going to be PIO. I know that August 4th is going to be a 3-day refresh. I know that August 18th is going to be my next PIO. I know September 3rd, I have it in my calendar, the Monday after Labor Day, that's going to be another 3-day refresh. September 15th is going to be my next challenge. So I have it scheduled out. And so what I'll do is I will start posting the first week of the month and then run my challenge about the second or third week. That way it gives me time to start that dialogue with people, to connect with others. And it gives them time to think on it and to actually buy the product so that I can hit Success Club within that month and early in the month. And then we start the challenge mid-month. You have to remember that people don't have the same sense of urgency that we do. We're on pins and needles hoping that they will jump on board with us and let us help them, but they don't necessarily feel that same sense of urgency. So You have to make sure that you allow that time in there and then create that urgency for them. And develop a system so that you don't get overwhelmed. So schedule it out, develop your system. Are you going to use the guides in the back office? Or are you going to make your own guide? Whatever it is, whatever your style is, get a system down so that's you're not overwhelmed. And I'll say that it gets better. Each group should hopefully get more and more successful as you go. You're going to learn what works for you and what doesn't. You're going to learn what people really are attracted to and what they're not. And, just your goal is you want them to be successful, because those that have the most success, that's who's going to carry on with you. And those are the ones that you are going to have those really solid relationships with, those success stories that you're going to be able to build your business from. So that's your goal. The third point that I want to talk about is sharing. And sharing is kind of twofold. Yes, we want to share the products, but we also want to share ourselves. So let's talk about the products first and sharing the product. Don't be embarrassed for the products that you have and for what they've done for people. And I don't mean going around and posting your link all over Facebook or Instagram or whatever. In fact, I highly, highly recommend you don't do that. But you want to be sharing these products that you have and what they're able to do for people. You don't grow your business just by telling others what to do. You're going to grow your business by showing them what these products can do for them. And when you're passionate and when you're confident about what you have, it's just going to come natural, and it's just going to be like a referral. So I want you to think about like a pair of jeans that you absolutely love, that you think that they fit better than anything else in your closet. You're going to share that with people. When you first find it, you're going to be so excited that you look so good in these that you're going to be telling people about it. You're probably going to even post a picture of yourself in those jeans and tell people, look how great I look. Don't you want to feel this way too? You've got to go buy these jeans. Well, it's the same thing. The products that we have make us look and feel so great from the inside out. Why would you not want to share that with others? It just should be a very, very natural movement for you. So don't be afraid to share the products. And then secondly is sharing yourself. Share you. People, yes, they're buying a product, but what they're really buying into is you, and you as a person, and you as your coach. You want to be proof of what you are, and you want to be proud of what you are, and what you can do for others. So I want you to think, what do you bring to others? What is it about you? Not me, not your coach, not your best friend, but you. What do you bring to others deep down? What is that? I want you to think about that for you, and I want you to look inside, and I want you to take that, and I want you to amplify that to the next level, because that's what people are going to be attracted to. That's what's going to set you apart from anyone else that they might be talking with, or anything else that they might see. They might be able to go to the gym and do the same thing, but if they're attracted to you and they are just compelled because of what you're able to do for others, that's the route they're going to go. So that's the third point, is sharing. The fourth point is to stay motivated. This one is a really, really important one. It seems simple, but it's important, and it's really not as simple as what we think. But no one can do it for you. You have to stay motivated for yourself. Your coach, your team, we can all give everybody like all of these rah-rahs, and you can do it. But if you're not staying motivated, and if you're not believing in what you can do, then no one's going to be able to do that for you. And you have to be positive. After you finish watching this, and even you can do it right now, but I want you to make a list. And I want you to list those things that when your alarm goes off in the morning, that you are just compelled to get up and go. Like, you might hit snooze a time or two, but when you think about that, it's go time, and you know it. It can be your kids, it can be your husband, your pets, your job, Beachbody, your workout, whatever it is. But I want you to make a list of those things that make you want to get up every single morning and just go. And if something starts to be dreadful on that list, you have to make changes. You either have to change it or fix it or remove it completely from your life. Because if you consistently have dreadful things that you have in your life, you're not going to exude the positivity and be able to connect with people that you're wanting to. You are 100% responsible for your attitude. No one else is responsible for that. So it doesn't matter if you had the crappiest day in the world because so-and-so did something to you or whatever. That's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to have a positive outlook on it and to therefore lead by example and be positive toward others, because we may not even realize it, but when we have a bad day and when we exude any form of negativity on social media or just in our interaction with others, that is going to spread like wildfire. And you may not even realize it, but others can catch on to it, and you're not going to do anyone any good, and you're going to bring yourself down. And that's the most common thing, and that's the hardest thing to get over. But you don't want to bring yourself down. You have to keep motivated, and you need to stay positive, because positive thinking will always change our circumstances. It's going to change from thinking, if you have a big problem, or making a problem big, right? Because we don't get to choose, right? God chooses what we go through, but we can choose how we deal with it and how we go through it. So it's your attitude and your positivity that's going to make the biggest change with that. Step number 5 that I want to talk to you about is failure. I don't want you to see failure anymore as you have failed. I want you to see it as a step to get you to the next level. So if your last challenge group bombed, guess what? You learned what exactly not to do in those challenge groups. You know what you're going to do next round to make it even better. So actually, you kind of won by failing. So don't look at failure as such a bad thing. When we fail, we learn what to do better and how to improve. Darren Hardy talked about it at Summit this year, if you were there, and he talked about, I love failure, and that he wanted to make it big in the real estate biz, and his mentor had told him, you go out and you fail big. Well, he did, and he made it big. So you've got to fail big to make it big. It may not make sense, but you've got to learn, and you've got to learn big. But it's not, and you have to know that it's not what's happening to you, but what's happening in you. And that's the key takeaway, is what's happening in you as you go through these failures. It's just developing you into an even better coach, into a better individual, a better parent, friend, mom, whatever that is. But it's developing you into something better. And I want to leave you with this thought. There's no requirement that life has to be good or easy, but we have the ability to make it great if we take the initiative to make it great and not to quit on yourself. So I want you to think about that. I want you to go back through those 5 steps and really focus on what you can do to get back to the basics. Get your personal development in and focus on hitting Success Club by connecting with people, by sharing your journey, your products, you and what you bring to people, and keep the motivation, because no one's going to keep that for you. And when things are down in the dump, if you stay motivated and if you stay positive, you're going to surpass any obstacle that's given to you. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please make sure to post them, and I'll answer them whenever I can. Have a great day.